welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy. I'm so glad you're here. I have two fabulous cards for you guys today using the Love of Leaves stamp set, which I love because it's fabulous. And it's in the annual catalog. My forehead is so shiny. I have a new fabulous new scrunchie. My hair's driving nuts. Let me go ahead and turn you guys down and let's get grafting. Okay. Let's see here. Over. Oh, I have the wrong thing. Here we go. Awesome. It's funny as I moved the wrong piece. Trying to get it to do it. Here we go. And here's Facebook. Yay! Oh my gosh. I love how sometimes you touch things on your computer and it just goes all total wonky. But it looks like we're good now. Yay! Okay, so this is the card, these two cards that we're gonna make today. And I love this designer series paper as well as this stamp set. So excited to play with them today with you guys. So let's get started. We're going to use this Love of Leaves is the stamp set that I'm featuring today with my double feature. And I love the stamp set because it's photopolymer. And I don't know if you've followed me before, but I had purchased this before and I loved it when it was a bundle. I think it was the last year's mini that was the holiday mini. And I actually lost this thank you. And we're going to be using it today because I love this thank you. I actually had to repurchase the set, the photopolymer. I love it though. It's such an awesome set. There's so many fabulous things you can do with it. And we are in the middle of having that sale. Today is the last day on the dies. And there are coordinating dies that are on sale with the stamp set. As well as I'm gonna show you guys the Stitch with Whimsy. And I don't know if you can see that on here, but it's stitched. So on both the gold piece and here, where it's kind of a fun, it's very different kind of set. So I wanted to definitely show you guys. I realized that I did not turn off my phone, which we definitely want to make sure I do so it doesn't ring because I don't have that phone on the camera. Okay, so in the annual catalog, you can find this stamp set on page 115. It's right here. So beautiful. Love, love, love. And although it's not a bundle, so if you've already had this stamp set, you haven't gotten the dies, now is a fabulous time to get the dies because it is on sale. So you will find them right here on page 165, the stitched leaves. These are a fabulous set of dies. And they're a little complicated, which is what I love about them. So it has this really huge textured piece that can add texture to your cardstock or your dinosaur paper. And so it doesn't like cut, it just makes these little dashes, which is really cool. Because we're going to do the same thing, but with the Stitched of Whimsy. And then it has all the leaves that fit. So these leaves do count, they do cut out the images that are in the stamp set, right? So it does cut them out, as you can see, right? They fit. They're pretty awesome. But they also have this other piece that adds texture. So it's stitched. And what's also fun about this too is if you want to do the reverse, it actually stitches on the outside of the paper. So I'll show you when we move it through. But if you want to do the negative on your card front, you can because it's stitched. So it looks really pretty as well. And so that's all on all of these. So cool. So I'm actually going to use my mini Stampin' Boss. I did the big one with the Whimsy. So anyway, so these are the stitched leaves, and you can get them here. Such a fabulous set of 13 dies. And the other dies that we're going to use that are also on sale. So, oh, I should mention, so they're $35 normally, and they're on sale for 28 bucks today. So if you don't have these stitched dies, now is a great time to get them today, because today is the last day of the sale. It's so awesome. Now another set that I love that we're going to use today is called the Stitched with Whimsy. And this is very similar in that it leaves like a stitch without actually cutting out. So these are a really great, fun set of dies. We're actually going to use this piece, the square, It's a stitch square. Let me see if I can make it. Um, let's zoom in. So it's a stitch square, and it will leave just that stitched wibbly switch stitched um, shape onto your cardstock or your designer series paper. It doesn't actually cut out; it just leaves. So all of these just leave this little image on there, the little stitched. It's kind of fun actually. It's a really neat. And then I use this one on the bigger piece, but it doesn't fit in because the card front that I have is bigger than what would fit in my mini. So I use the bigger one, so I already did that, so you don't have to watch me dig that out. But these are super fun. And again, these are on sale. Now these ones are one of like our tailor made tags dies, and we've got a couple of them that are like that. The tailor made tags. We've got the stitch greenery. There's a couple of dies that we have that don't actually like correspond to a stamp set, and this is one of those. It goes with everything. Love it. And again, it is on sale today. So instead of $29, what they usually are, they're on sale for $23.20. So that 20% off the dies is an excellent time. So fabulous. So fabulous. Okay. And then the other star of these cards is this gorgeous paper. So in the mini holiday catalog, the July to December, it is on page 45, and it's this Blackberry Beauty paper, 12 by 12 paper. It is so gorgeous. It is, now I ended up not getting the stamp set, but I did get a pack of this paper because who doesn't want this paper? It's so gorgeous. It also has, if you look at this, I've been using the gold shimmer vellum. We're going to use a piece of that today as I'm going to use a little piece of the gold shimmer ribbon that's from this suite as well. But I love this designer series paper. It's gorgeous. And one of the things that Stampin' Up! Has been doing, which is pretty awesome, is that they've been designing in their designer series paper these pieces that we can cut that are card fronts that you don't even need to you don't really need to stamp on, right? Like or do lots of layers. You can stamp directly onto it to make card fronts. It's so fabulous. And that's actually the piece that we're going to use today. There's some in the Expressions of Ink designer series paper pack, as well as the Beauty of Earth, and I've done several of both of those. So this gorgeous designer series paper, it's specialty, so it's got that gold accent, which is really gorgeous, which helps, and it's so beautiful. You want it to do, turn it over the other side. So this is the sheet that we're going to use today, and if you can see how it has this white in the middle, and you're like, what is that? Well, actually, because it's 12 by 12, you just cut this on your trimmer at 6. So at 6 inches, you would cut this, and that's what I've done today, is you cut it, and then when you trim it to, my card front was 4 by 5 1/4. So I'll cut it at 6, and then I'll cut it at 4, and then you'll be a little bit too long, and then I will take that piece at the bottom, and I will cut it off from the bottom half, where all of this is, so we have more up at the top for stamping. If you want to stamp on the designer series paper itself, or even to add an image or the sentiment pieces. But then I can use this piece for my back and my inside my card front. So you guys know that I love to do. So I did that here. So when I cut it, then I put the piece on the back and on the inside of the card. So I use a piece of that card front designer series paper to put it there and there because I love. But that's how you do. So you cut it off from the edge, and then you have at least 6 card fronts that are already gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love, love, love. So that's actually what we're going to do with that one today. I'm going to start off with the easy card. And this easy card is, it's really pretty. It is a little bit easier than the other one that has multiple steps. So what I've done is I'm using the Blackberry Bliss. And let's get out my little card. Here we go. So I actually made a couple of different samples when I was trying to figure out. Like, so this one here, I've used a piece of that ribbon, and I thinned up my little flag of the gold foil, and then I added this really cute ribbon to underneath. And actually, so I was making this one. It doesn't have the stitched around either. I was making this card up as one of my first, and I accidentally got a glue dot. I don't know where it came from on there, and so when I was using my eraser to get it off, I actually tore just a little bit of the designer series paper. And so I was like, ooh, I still want to use it. I had the whole card front done. It was one after the fact. So I actually just stamped onto the designer series paper. So you can't really see it. I don't know if you can see underneath there how there's like rating. I hid it with this, so the little mark is like right there. So I used the ribbon to cover up how I marred my designer series paper. So, and then I loved the way that looked. So this is the stepped up the one stepped up version where I use the Stitch with Whimsy around the edge to kind of give the designer series paper a little bit more. Although this designer series paper is gorgeous, so I'm not sure if you want to. You don't really need to do any more with this paper. So pretty, but I wanted to add a little bit. So this now I think I'm going to combine both of these for our next one. So what we need is, again, like I said, I did the strips from the back when I was cutting it. And I've already cut it. And like I said, with this big one, I ran it through. And you can do it straight on, but I did it at a little bit of a catty corner. So it's not straight. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more catty corner. And so I did that with the whimsy. And then I have just a regular piece of the basic white that I am layering it on. And of course, I'll have all these measurements up on my blog later on today, hopefully, and or tomorrow, by the latest. But it's it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and so, because my card fronts are 4 by 5 1/2, 5 1/4. And let's see, and then my little sentiment is a 1/4 inch by, I think it's like, what did I do it by? It's like, 1 1/2. So it's like a little 1 1/2, and I might use it. And then this is the 3/4 by 1, and this is 1 1/2. So this must be 1 3/4 is what I did that to. So I'm going to flag it in. And on this one, I cut it. I actually used my snips and made it thinner. And this one, I left it the larger size. So I think I'm just going to kind of combine the two. And then I do have that gold. This is that gold shimmer ribbon. It's in there, and I just need a little piece of it. And I think it's about, I think I do about 4 inches is what I do. This. I'll get my snips. And just gonna, so it just kind of loops, just like that. This one needs to be a little bit more at an angle. There we go. I want it to go that way. So there's for my ribbon. And then let's do our stamping. It's our envelope. And so I used the thank you from this set that I love so much. I've used this. Careful, you don't lose yours. I actually lost my first one. I love this thank you. It's a really nice curvy set. So I'm going to do my stamping because Blackberry Bliss is notorious for being a mess, right? It does. But this is photopolymer, so I want to use my stamping block. What did I do with my block? It's right here. Oh, it fell. I don't know if I can reach it. I'm kind of short, and it fell behind my computer. Oh, here it is. All right, muy bien. You need to have your Stampin' mat, and if you don't have your mat, you can always, if you have a little bit of a pad on here, you can use a piece of cardboard. I do really love. So let me go ahead. way. There we go. Okay. So here it was kind of lost on my busy um, pad. It's a little small. And I'm just going to stamp right here in the middle. Maybe. Just like that. Now I'm going to set this aside to let it dry. It's not really moist yet today. There's not a lot, it's not really moist because one of the things about Blackberry Bliss is it can smear. Of all of our inks, it is one that does smear the most. Okay, so, and then let's see. Since I am stamping, I do like to stamp on the back of my card. I'll put that thank you, although you can barely see it, but you can, sort of. And I know it's there, so that makes me feel better. Put thank you in the back. And then we want to put our thank you on our insert. Go. So pretty. I love this thank you. It's so delicate. Okay, get that nice and cleaned. Just like I said, Blackberry Bliss, Blackberry Mess, right? Oh, it's a gorgeous color, but it does sort of make a mess. Okay, so then while that is drying, let's put our card front together. And so I'm going to use my just using glue to put this on the white. And I'm going to, of course, put the glue so it's not on the dots. Can you see the dotted line on the back? Well, I'm going to make sure so it doesn't spooge. I don't want it to spooge up front or the back, or from the little dots. I'm just going to put that on here. I love this designer series paper. It's gorgeous. I think it might still be on back order. As soon as it comes out, it goes straight to back order. But it's beautiful. And you don't have to have the stamp set to make this designer series paper gorgeous because it goes with so many things. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back out. So you can actually get more of it on camera. Okay, let me glue that in on the front here. Just like that. Awesome. So, and of course you can decide if you want to just, this one I didn't flag the end, I just flagged on this side, and this one I flagged both. You can see like I flagged both, this one I didn't. So this time I'm not going to flag my thank you, but I am going to flag my piece of gold foil. Get it up, here we go. And so to flag my foil, paper snips, and I usually just put like a little slit and then go from corner to corner. Now, also the tailor tag. You can use the banner or like the inside top of that one punch, tailor-made punch. I think is what it is. Oh, so cute! And then I'm just gonna glue this on to my gold, although I usually use snail. I made my thing a little bit, so I made it a little bit too, you guys can see, just a little bit, I'm going to make it a little shorter. Made my flag just a little bit too big. So now I'm just going to snip off the ends here so it looks even with my paper snips. Definitely check that before you put the glue on or your seal so that if you need to snip it down, you have room without getting your foil all gooey like I have just done. But luckily, I can use my fingers to clean that off. I find just the oil from your fingers to kind of get the glue off works better than trying to use your glue eraser. The glue eraser on the foil does tend to rip it, so you want to not rip your foil. but apparently just a little bit of the oil on your fingers is enough to rub it off. The extra gold. Very nice. Yay. And then once you've touched it, of course, then it's like all over touched. Do-do-do. Okay, we need some Stampin' Dimensionals. Oh, I want to do the ribbon, right? What did I do with my ribbon? So let me get the snail. So now the seal, I love to use my snail, especially with foil, because you get glue everywhere when you don't use the seal with foil. I love using the seal with foil. The glue just drives me nuts because I always make a mess. But when I put the ribbon on, I always use snail to the Stampin' Seal to hold it because it helps it keep it attached to the ribbon to the back. And it's, you can still arrange it a little bit. And then after you get the ribbon on the back, then you can put on your Stampin' Dimensionals. And I think I got it too far up. I made it too big. I made it too big at the top. I only want it to be little. Yep. And then I'm just going to snip the edges a little bit. So there we go. So I didn't want to overpower how pretty the stuff is. You can still see it. There we go. How pretty is that? It's not lovely, but not too busy. I love this designer series paper because you don't want to do too much to cover it up. So the Stitch with Whimsy adds those neat little lines. It kind of gives it another dimension. And then I love the gold foil and that gold shimmer ribbon. But don't go overboard. Just do a little bit. That really goes a long way. I really like that. Okay, so now let's add our inside, and that really makes it come together. Adding the white. I love to add the white. I've started actually adding white even to cards that are white, only because it gives it a little bit, unless I'm using the thick whisper white or the thick basic white or the thick very vanilla. You almost need it to keep it to be stabilized. And then I'm going to add a piece of my designer series paper to the bottom. And I love to use the designer series paper because it is bringing together without having to do the stamping, but it definitely brings the theme right through. And I got the glue everywhere. And my other one, what did I do with the other piece? There it is. New. Right. I do love the glue because you can move it around. But sometimes I get over enthusiastic. It gets everywhere. Oh, it's so pretty though. This designer series paper is so gorgeous, so gorgeous. And so I'm just gonna stamp thank you right here on the back. Turn it the right direction. That. Awesome. And you can add some of the designer series paper also to the inside flap or to the outside of the flap. It does a pretty good job. I just did that. I read somewhere that you shouldn't put the thank you. You shouldn't use words on the front. I need to see if that's true or not. That the Postal Service doesn't like that. That sometimes it will mess with the scanners. So I didn't put the thank you on that side. But love. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Okay. So that's the first card. Like I said, you can do it. Here's the same card without the ribbon. And then this one is without the whimsy. and just, can't really, it's a little harder to tell. There we go. But it's so pretty. And again, it makes those card fronts are so easy because you just cut the designer series paper. Okay, so our next card is a little bit more difficult. It seemed like I had a little bit of trouble with that, my glue going everywhere. And it is this gorgeous card. So this is a little bit more of the stamping. We're gonna stamp our we're gonna cut out our piece of a very vanilla and stamp it, and we're gonna add the whimsy to the texture to the piece of gold shimmer vellum in that designer series paper. So let's pull that out. And that out of the way. So like I did with the first, although I used a Blackberry Bliss card front, and it is our 8.5 by 11 cut at 4.25. So it's 11 by 4.25, and then scored at the 5.5. This is that Blackberry Bliss. So sumptuous. I love it, but the ink does smear, so you have to be careful. And I use the basic white on our other card. I'm going to use actually Very Vanilla on this one. Kind of makes it a little bit warmer. And just like the last one, I actually have a piece of the Very Vanilla that I'm going to layer behind my designer series paper. This specialty Blackberry, what is it called? Blackberry Beauty is gorgeous, but it can be a bit overwhelming. So I love adding that little bit of the vanilla to kind of offset the color a little bit, differentiate between using the Blackberry Bliss and the Very Vanilla, and then the designer series paper specialty. I love all that gold. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, the back is kind of a fun design too, but love that. And then, and I'll have all the measurements will be on my blog later, but it's cut at 4 by 5.25, and this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So I can layer that in there nicely. And then again, I have an inside layer with the Very Vanilla that is at the 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, which will go inside. And then the piece of the gold shimmer vellum, it's 3 by 4, and I'm gonna actually let's get the die cutting done first. There we go. Now, usually when I do stamp and die cut, I will sometimes, especially if it's not a clear stamp, you definitely want to stamp first and then die cut the image out. But I'm going to try it now. I've tried it before and it worked good. So I'm going to use my mini, and I'm going to use the base plate, and I need a number 2 clear plate and then another number 2 clear plate to go on top of the die. So I'm going to put my die in, and what did I do with my other piece of gold? Here it is. So that's what it's going to look like. It's a little off center. So I'm going to put my piece in there with the shimmer up, and then I'm going to use the little square Stitch by Whimsy, and I'm not going to put it in there like if you really like them to go so that it's parallel, but I don't. I'm really, because it's Whimsy, I'm making it it's a little off center, so just put that on there where you like, and then just put your clear plate on top of it, so it's your base, a clear plate, then your paper and your die, and then your clear plate, and then it just right through. And the little mini, it's so cute. I know, right? It's so cute. Love the mini. And then just be careful when you're peeling it off. You don't rip your vellum. Vellum is even more delicate than like your regular paper. Now, if you find that you have, I don't find that these ones have been really bad, but sometimes the stitch ones will stick. And I find that if you cut it through with wax paper, that it helps keep it nice. Helps keep it lubricated, whatever, to help it do a better job of getting that done. So there you go. Can you guys see that? Isn't that pretty? Oh, love, love, love. And then we're going to do the same thing to do our I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and I think it's the same. Oh no, it's a little bit smaller. What size did I do for this? I'll have this, of course, written down. It's 3¼ by 3¼ That's what the sheet is. And then I'm going to use my stitched die. What I do with my stitched? Move the dies somewhere. I know I had them because I showed them to you. Oh no! Showed them to you, so they couldn't have gone far. Where did I put those dies? There's the shower paper, and that. So I'm having a. What did I do with dies? You can probably see them right here, right? On my. Those are the things. Oh my goodness. It's going to be one of those. I had them. Try to get the dies. As I move around. They're not here. Got to be here. I showed them to you already on camera. So I know they haven't gone far. Oh, you know what? I bet you I put them in the. I did. I closed them in my book. They're inside here. Oh my gosh. That was a moment of panic. Where have I lost my dies? I lost them. I put them in my book. Okay, so we're going to use the biggest. Put it upside down. Use the biggest leaf, and I'm going to actually use the inside. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. If you can see that on here. Did I get the? Yeah, I did. Okay. Hoping I got the right. Okay. Now let's put that in. Oops. When I plop that down, I moved my. There we go. There we go. Let's see. I did a couple pieces. What if I grab the wrong piece? Oh, no, it went through. So if you can see, so I'm not using this piece, so I didn't. If you made your piece a little bit bigger and you wanted to use it as a part of your card front, can you see that there's the stitched? There's, oh, you can't. I love this new camera, but it wants you to do it like this instead. You see the stitch? Oh, I don't know if you can really see the stitch. There's a stitched edge around the edge of the flower, the leaf, which is pretty. And then when you take your, when you pull it off of here, you want to make sure that you're going to pull it from this side, and make sure you get all the leaves before. Don't just rip it from one side, because you could rip your leaf. So make sure that you get these first tabs done, and it comes out pretty nice. You guys see that? I've got a nice, like a. Oh, there we go. There you can see it. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, so it's pretty easy, and not all the things will go through in your mini, but luckily today's Kate could, so I was able to use my mini machine. I don't get to use it very often on camera, but I was excited. If I didn't put my my dies and hide them in my book, like that's just hilarious. I can't believe I did that. Okay, so then, all right, so now we have our really pretty leaf, and we're just going to stamp right onto our leaf. So we're going to use our Blackberry Bliss again, and I've already mounted our big leaf. Nice. And these are distinctive, so if you get too much ink, sometimes it can be blotchy. I saw that if you actually do it this way, it's actually better. And then I'm going to just stamp it right here. I'm going to try not to let my head get in the way. I'm going to have to stand up. to be able to do that. Excuse my chair moving, and my head's going to go down. So, but because you are, go, do that. How cool is that? And you can still, now you can really see that stitched. Isn't that cool? So cool. Okay. Oh, I should do the other. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to do is, and I was able to stamp right over that stitched image. One of the other things you can do is, if your sentiment, like this has some really great sentiments in it. So if some of your sentiments are, and you're like, oh, I don't really want a really long, a big sentiment. You want to like little pieces, like I've done here. You can cut up your sentiments after you've stamped them. Don't be afraid to do that. So we're actually going to do that today. I'm going to stamp this one. I'm going to use my paper snips and snip them apart. So this one says, your friendship is something I know I can count on. Which is very lovely. Thanksgiving. I'm just going to stamp it. Just like that. And see, you to put it on your, you'd have to, keep it together, be big, which is still lovely. But look how nice it looks when you can cut it apart. Love, love, love doing that. Okay, so let's close up this. Let's put our card together and not touch our sentiment until it dries completely because, like I said, Blackberry Bliss is notorious for taking a while to dry. So we're just going to mount our gorgeous piece of Designer Series paper onto our very vanilla layer. Just like that. Love it. And I'm going to glue this to my card front. Now I'm going to then build my leaf and then attach to the vellum. Because the vellum, instead of putting the vellum down and then attaching it on, you want to hide your adhesive because even though it is the gold, it does show through. Your adhesive would still show through. So we are still going to build out like we would, even if it was like regular vellum. Okay, so we need our fabulous leaf. So we know what we want it to go like that. And then we're going to use some linen thread. Where did I put my linen thread? I love linen thread. It's a great, even because I thought, for this card, more gold would be too much. So I'm actually going to wrap it around my fingers 4 times. 3, 4. And again, you're going to want to use seal. What did I do with my seal? And then what you want to do with your seal is you want to put it just down each of your leaves, right? So we're going to attach our, we're putting the seal to attach our really pretty, I love this linen thread. So we kind of want it to look, so you just see how I just flip that down. So you take that off your fingers and just slip it down, and the seal helps keep it low, then you can, luckily the seal is pretty pliable that you can really pull your linen off if you need to, the linen thread off, and play with it, position it the way you want it to go. It's kind of nice to be, if you want it wild, or if you want it to be really big looped, however you feel like you want your linen to be. I think I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. There we go. So I didn't get it as wide, so then you can just play with it till you get it the way you like, which is why I love to use the seal on the back, because it does let you make it a little more pliable and kind of move it around a little bit if you don't have it the way you want. And it isn't as gooey as like glue. I don't even know how you do it with glue. I do. It's like my favorite part about the seal. Just like that. And then when you have it the way you like it, just go ahead and put that on there. Like that. So I did this one a little bit tighter. And I also used the seal to seal it down. So one of the things that we were doing that they showed us at on stage is if you are going to put a bunch of layers and you're going to mail it, you can put the dimensionals, or in this case, the linen thread acts almost like a dimensional on the outside, and then not on the inside, so it squishes down a little bit, and that helps it when you are mailing it. Cute. Oh, love, love, love. Okay, and then we're going to put dimensionals on this side so that we can see. Now you can always add, if you don't feel like you've got enough adhesive on your linen thread, you can always add more, but the seal really holds. So there we go. I put one on, a dimensional on all of that. And then the dimensionals are, of course, hidden by the leaf. All these are in the way. Oh. And then I'm just going to put that in the middle, like that. Oh, love it. Okay. And then we're going to take our beautiful sentiment, and you can cut it up any way you want. So I've actually cut mine up with friendship. I'm going to cut it smaller so it says your friendship. Definitely do this last so that you're not smudging your sentiment. Is something. And don't worry about making it straight. That was another thing that was funny. So on stage was last weekend, and one of the fun things about on stage is that it's a bunch of stamping demonstrations. It's always fun to get together and stamp. And even though it was virtual, it's still like so many fabulous stamping demonstrations of all the new products and some new techniques where they were talking about not putting putting the dimensionals or your having it so that your adhesive sticks to, so only the outside is popped up but the inside is stuck down so that it's less on your postage, right? It doesn't stick up as much. But one of the other things we talked about was when you're fussy cutting these, you can never really get it 100% straight. So don't even bother trying. It's a handmade card. Don't try to make it look like it's straight. Just snip it the way you like it. And if it's a little bit off, it makes it look handmade, and you're not trying to make it look 100% straight. So don't try to make it 100% straight. That makes it nice. One thing you will need to do though when you make your, you'll need to use the mini dimensionals to put this one on, or you can cut your big dimensionals down. But I think even for my little sentiment, I actually do cut it down. But what I do is look on these. There's a lot of extra. It has a pretty thick. This one has a really thick border, and of course you never throw that away. It's awesome. So for this one, I've just cut the strip out so it's smaller. Also, if you have those adhesive foams, the strips, that works too. So put that on there. I don't know where I want to put it yet. And then I'm going to put mini dimensionals on here. Okay, so then you just decide where you want your pieces to go. it's kind of like your friendship, something. I don't want it. This one I want to go over the top. I want it to be over here, like this. And then this one I really want it to go on the bottom. Oops, I get these things everywhere. Now, if you want to, once you put this down and you feel like you need more the adhesive under here, then just take a glue dot. What do I do with my glue dots? And you can hide it underneath this. If you feel like it's too big on the bottom, just use your pick a tool. What do I do with my pick a tool? You take your pick tool. Oh no, my glue dots are out of control too. Just like that. And I'm just going to put it under here. See where it's going to be hidden by that. And now it'll, oops, I have to get it on there. I got it on my finger. There we go. It's always something. Okay. And then here's this one. Did I drop them a million times? Just like that. Your friendship is something. So you can do it so it's over just on the top, or you can put it actually over top of your over top of the tip of your leaf. I don't know if I want it to be there. Let's see, where do I want it to go? No, I do kind of. Maybe I want to just move it down. Oh, there we go. There we go. Your friendship is something I know I can count on. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. So pretty. And then if you don't want it tightly weaved, if you want it to be more way out, you just, when you're putting it on there, just check it. Make sure you get it the way you like. Awesome. Okay, so then we need to do the inside and the back. Again, we use the strips from the designer series paper. And let's stamp the thank you. Get that out of the way. Stamp the thank you on here. Oh wait, this one's not the thank you card. Oh wait, no, you can put thank you. Your friendship is something I know I can count on. Thank you. Like, I lost my train. Found it though. Now, what did I do with the the other strip that I had? Wow. I have an extra one right here. I've lost it. Here's the other one. And then with this designer series paper, there is an up and a down. So also make sure that you have it going the direction that you want it to go. Put that on the inside. That's the other one. And I try not to touch the thank you so you don't smear it. Because that Blackberry Bliss, man, it likes to smear. Of all of our inks, I think it's the most it likes to smear. Oh my gosh, but it's so pretty. So pretty. Love, love, love. Okay, I got that on the back. And I need to add the thank you to the back as well. Muy bien. Love, love, love. Okay, so now look, this one's a little bit heavy. I did not add the other glue dot. So you can definitely do that after the fact so that it's hiding. Get on that side. Because you don't want your glue dot to show. So that way it holds your or vellum down. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Love, love, love. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed these fabulous Love of Leaves cards with the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper and the Stitch Leaves and the Stitch with Whimsy. Um, oh, here's that other piece. I was lost. Stitch with Whimsy dies. And remember, the Stitch with Whimsy dies as well as the Stitch Leaves are 20% off today. Today is the last day of that sale. So I wanted to also mention, so we have our Ever Eden. Don't forget our Ever Eden. We have the Specialty Designer Series paper and the Ever Eden cotton paper and those garden gems. Those are only while supplies last. Are gorgeous. That Specialty Designer Series paper, so beautiful, especially for Christmas cards. And I do also love this stamp set. And it is just like the one we used today, the Love of Leaves. This is also distinctive. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And those are going to be carrying over into the new this bundle will be in the new mini catalog, the January to June. But so you can still get the bundle price, but you won't be able to get these gorgeous pieces. You can get the whole collection, and that includes, when you get the whole collection, it does include the 10% off for the bundle, and there's just the one price. So definitely make sure, don't forget about that. And then, like I said, our sale is today. It ends today, and it's 10% off cardstock, 15% off the ink, and 20% off of the dies that are in the annual catalog. So don't forget about those. And then today is the last day, and that again included the Stitched Leaves and the Stitch with Whimsy that we used today. So it's so awesome. And of course, we have the fabulous joining special. That's our 99-cent or 99-cent, $99 starter starter kit, which is always the best deal because you get $125 of product for your $99 plus free shipping and a sample paper pumpkin kit, as well as some catalogs and a few business supplies. But now you can get it for month of November for $75 instead of $99. So that's a huge savings. Love, love, love. You got all the information is on my website if you're interested in joining. And I mean, this last sale was so awesome because for demonstrators, it's 20% off cardstock, or 30% off because we use our 20% plus the extra 10. So I love that Stampin' Up lets us stack these specials. Such a great time to join Stampin' Up. I'd love to have you on my team. So if you have, you can always email me or check it out on my website. I'll have all the links in the description of this video. Okay, I think that, and then of course it is November. Like I said, we had on stage last weekend. So the new catalogs are coming up and celebration for January, February celebration. So if you haven't purchased from me in the last 6 months, the best way to make sure that you're on my list to get the new catalogs is to place an order with me. And if you place an order today, $30 or more, I'll send you the kits to make these cards. And if you spend $50 or more, you can also get a free holiday gems, the holiday rhinestone basic jewels, and those actually have gone back on back order, but I've got plenty. So if you do $50, you can get a free pack of these in with your thank you card. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Thursday double feature, the Love of Leaves. And like I said, make sure you get on there and use my host code to get the special the rhinestones with the $50 order, or the card kit with the $30 order with your thank you card. And I just am so glad that you guys were here with today, and I hope you enjoyed our projects, and I hope you have a great weekend. Happy crafting. Bye, guys.